Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm gonna do a classic rock reaction, man. This is Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin, Physical Graffiti. This is the second to last song off of the album, called Black Country Woman. Still trucking along with Led Zeppelin, man. So, what I'm gonna do with Led Zeppelin, with this month in December, is I want to finish Physical Graffiti and then move on to their following album, that being Presence. And I want to get at least a couple of reactions off of the Presence album in and complete before the end of the month. Riding into the new year, I want to be, I don't know, a quarter of a way into the Presence album. I think I should be able to do that given some of the time off that I've got coming up that I'm looking forward to. So without further ado, let's get this poppin', man. Black Country Woman. Led Zeppelin, Black Country Woman. Let's get it.
Should we roll it, Jimmy? We're rolling on one? No, one again. Trying to get this airplane on.
Not even yet.
Oh, they were talking. I missed it.
Hey, hey, mama, what's the matter here? Hey, hey, mama, what's the matter here? You didn't have to tell me that you love me so. You didn't have to love me, mama, let me go. Hey, hey, mama, what's the matter here? Have to make me a total disgrace. Didn't have to leave me with that beer in my face. Hey, hey, mama, what's the matter here? That's alright. It's awful doggone clear. Hey, hey, baby, why you treating me mean? Oh, oh, baby, why you treating me mean? You didn't have to crucify me like you did. You didn't have to tell me I was just your kid.
Thunder.
Hey, mama, why you treating me mean? You didn't have to say you'd always be by my side. You didn't have to tell me you'd be my blushing bride. Why you treat me mean?
What a voice on this guy.
But that's alright. I know your sisters too.
This is a nod to the blues, man. You got the themes of the blues in this song.
You didn't have to tell me that you love me so. You didn't have to leave me, mama, let me go. Hey, hey, mama, what is wrong with you? You didn't have to leave me like a total disgrace. You didn't have to leave me with that beer on my face. Hey, hey, mama, what is wrong with you? Oh, but that's alright. I'll be the same way too. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, man.
Nice.
Oh.
You need the harmonica in this song.
Now, my baby, you didn't have to crucify me like you did. You didn't have to tell me I was just your kid. Hey, hey, mama, what's the matter here?
John Paul.
You didn't have to tell me you would be my own. You What's the matter with you, mama?
All right. Hey. Short but sweet. Man, these guys, they really know how to complement the blues, don't they? To showcase the blues, even though it's not a classic blues sounding jam. It's, hey, sorry about that, man. I don't know if you could hear what I was saying. All of a sudden, in the middle of nowhere, my camera just decided to act stupid and shut off. So I was just in the middle of conversating there, saying that, take these off. I was saying that these guys can complement the blues very, very well, even though this isn't a conventional blues sounding tune compared to some of their other blues covers. It still has that flavor to it. It's more like a folksy blues, skipping kind of tune, you know. I was thinking of more their Bron Stomp from Led Zeppelin 3, but it definitely has a lot of blues elements to it. The story being told, that awful devil woman treating a good man badly and doing him wrong. Of course, that good man just won't leave. And then, of course, you know, her sisters are more than likely very keen to take up where she lacks. So, man, so many elements of blues material in this song complements the blues very well, showcases a great range and variety. And I gotta say about these guys, you know, this sixth album, well, from Houses of the Holy, I was saying that it really showcases their range and the variety of what they're offering. But Physical Graffiti, it's a complement to that too. It's extended, it's a double album, so it's really showing you a hellacious amount of their range and their variety. And I've said before in previous reactions, by now, their sixth album, they know that they could literally just wake up in the morning, flip a coin to decide which direction they're going to go in, where it comes to creativeness, where it comes to just picking a subject matter, a genre. You know, they can do whatever the hell they want at this point, knowing fully that the end result will be something good, something excellent. And hey, man, you know, this was an excellent song, short and sweet. I didn't expect Thunder to come in, and John Bonham just came in with that. Man, how great is this guy, man? John Bonham. About John Bonham, man. You know how you might even find a drummer out there more skilled than he is, technically more, I don't know, precise or whatever the case may be, but there is an elemental emotional connection with his drums. He delivers it. His drumming has personality. It's got a characteristic, and it's, if you were to put a metaphoric character to his drumming, I'm thinking of a screaming, wailing banshee, an angel just screaming down at you, you know, coming down from the heavens with a wild, wailing scream. It gets your attention. You know he's drumming, you know he's present. If there were 100 other drummers around him drumming, you would be able to pick him out. That is how I feel about John Bonham's drumming. You know, damn, man. There's just nobody else like him. I can't think of anyone else like him, man. Yeah, just a fantastic musician, man. Yeah. I can see why you guys still missed the hell out of John Bonham today. You know, I mean, listening to this guy, 500 years from now, we're still going to be talking about Led Zeppelin and John Bonham in the same way that we're talking about them now. I got to give a shout out to him because even though all the instrumentation was fantastic here, he just, you just couldn't ignore the presence of the drums when it came in, you know, and it just held my attention throughout the whole song. It just elevated the song to a completely different level. I was enjoying the hell out of it before the drums kicked in. And when that thunder dropped, yo, man. All right, so blowing sunshine towards John Bonham. It's all good. So, man, yeah, excellent song. Short, sweet. It's got some charm to it. I really, really dig what they're doing. And I've been enjoying the hell out of Physical Graffiti on the whole, man. You know, the range, the variety, just the way they're coming about with their creativeness. Just a delight, man. Just a very, very delightful listen. So, let me just do a little background read here. I'm just looking at the Wikipedia information, song fact information for Black Country Woman, and it's not long. It's just a paragraph, but we'll read that. And I think what I'll do too is I'll just scroll up a little bit and just read a little bit about the album information as well, and then so that it's at least 2 decent paragraphs to read. So let's start with the album info. Physical Graffiti. Physical Graffiti is the 6th studio album by English rock band Led Zeppelin. It was released as a double album on the 24th of February 1975 by the group's new record label, Swan Song Records. The album was commercially and critically successful upon its release and debuted at number 1 on album charts in both the US and the UK. Does that happen often, a double album debuting, or it just doesn't matter? Because, you know, I mean, a double album can, with all of the material on it, can either be fantastic or lukewarm at best, because with so many songs, it just gives more of, I guess, the opportunity to dislike more, you know, and so kind of putting it in a null category, even though there are some great hits on it, the rest of the album might not be that great, you know what I mean? So it kind of brings it down somewhat. But so with a double album, that's quite an accomplishment, hitting number 1 in the album charts, in my opinion. I can't think of another double album off the top of my head that's done well enough to go to number 1. Let me know if you can think of a double album like that. The only double album I can think of right off is the Saturday Night Fever album. I know that went to number 1. It's a different genre, of course, you know. Pretty much it was a Bee Gees album, but that's the only one that I can think of right off the top. I'm trying to think of something in a rock and roll side of the fence, but it's not coming to mind right now. The album was promoted by a successful US tour and a 5-night residency at Earl's Court in London, and has since been viewed as one of the group's strongest albums and the artistic peak of their career. The album has been reissued on CD several times, including an expansive 40th anniversary edition in 2015. Physical Graffiti was later certified 16 times platinum in the US by the RIAA in 2006, signifying shipments of over 8 million copies. Yeah. Wow. Black Country Woman. Black Country Woman is an acoustic track dripping with desire, like many other tracks on the album. It was recorded in Mick Jagger's garden in '72 and was originally intended for Houses of the Holy, but was dropped for unknown reasons. More than likely, just didn't have enough room. The track was placed on Physical Graffiti to extend the running time, as Led Zeppelin only had 1.5 albums worth of material for the double album. John Paul Jones played an upright bass when he played this live. Oh man, I'd love to find a live version. I didn't even think about a live version. Originally, this was subtitled Never Ending Doubting Woman Blues. Never Ending Doubting Woman Blues, with Robert Plant adding that line at the end. Led Zeppelin used this extensively as a prelude to Run Your Stomp during their eclectic 1977 US tour. A propeller-driven plane flew overhead as the recording reels were rolling for this song. At the beginning of the track, sound engineer Eddie Kramer can be heard saying, "Don't want to get this airplane on," to which Robert Plant replies, "Nah, leave it, yeah. Nah, leave it, yeah." Okay, so that's what they were saying at the beginning. I remember hearing him say, "Nah, leave it, yeah," but I didn't remember what was ahead of that. Okay, so I gotta go back and listen to that. All right. Yeah, man, so about these guys, that's the song fact information. That's all we've got, 2 short paragraphs. Yeah, man, their creativity at this point in their discography and in their career was just at the peak. And I know that many have said that this definitely is their creative peak, physical graffiti. But at the same time too, reading some of the comments from various reactions, especially during the physical graffiti reactions, a lot of you have also said that even some of their following songs that are not as good on the following albums or whatnot, it's still pretty good. Even at their worst, they're still pretty good. I know that after this, there were issues within the band. John's drinking got a little bit more intense. Jimmy got into heroin. I heard John Paul Jones at this point was thinking about pulling the pin. And Robert Plant, this was just before that horrendous accident that almost took his life. So I know that there was a lot of things that just shifted and divided their attention. But even at their worst, many of you are saying, it's still pretty good. You know, I mean, I just don't like the crunch. But when I compare it to, I don't like the crunch in a sense of comparing it to their other material that I feel is better. But I mean, let's put it into perspective. It's still a really damn fine song. So in my opinion, this is the thought that I had when I was reading a lot of your comments about, you know, even at their worst, they're still at their best. You can take their worst stuff. Someone can have a successful career on their worst stuff, right? Just their worst stuff alone, in your opinion, whatever the worst Led Zeppelin songs might be, in your opinion, take those songs, put them in an album or 2 or whatever, and you can still have a very successful career from their worst. You know, that's the thought that I had. And one of the subscribers, almost word for word, sent me that in a form of a short note saying, yeah, you know, you can have a successful career even on their worst stuff. And that was really cool when I read that. Yeah, man. So what this does, having this kind of feedback about Led Zeppelin and what I was thinking about them, is that it helps me to give them kind of like a ranking on a scale of 1 to 10, you know, even though I'm only at physical graffiti, and I believe we've got 3 more albums to go. I now believe that I have enough information to rank them on that scale, you know what I mean? And so overall, yeah, these guys, they rank very high. I'm not going to tell you exactly where I'm ranking them from 1 to 10. That would be leading you, you know what I mean? I want you to have your own ranking. I can't share that with you because it's it would probably be leading someone. So I don't want to do that. But yeah, man, let me just say that I rank them very, very high on a scale of 1 to 10. for an overall ranking. You know, I'm certainly no tadpole anymore where it comes to Led Zeppelin. Yeah, there's still more to learn, but I think that I'm at least more than 3/4 of the way into their studio discography. So, okay, I'm not an expert, but I think that I have enough information to make very, very informed observations and go ahead with my ranking. So that's basically my thing. I'm talking this way because I had another run-in with my annoying ass coworker. Dude's still calling me a tadpole, you know. Mr. Sean Patrick O'Brien. He is one of the most stubborn, old, you know, Irishmen you'll ever meet. And he's just got his ways, and you're not going to change him, man. But anyway, yeah, I guess I will always be a tadpole. Even if I've gone through their entire discography, he's going to keep raising the bar. So after I finished going through the albums, studio albums, live albums, all of their live performances, whatever bootlegs I find, he's going to continue to raise that bar. I know where he's going to go with it. Then he's going to say to me, yeah, you know, tadpole, you're still a tadpole. You'll always be a tadpole. You know why? Because I actually saw these guys a number of times growing up, and I will always have that over and above you. You know, he's probably going to go on to say that he's probably met them all, maybe went backstage, shared a drink with them. The bar is just going to keep raising and raising, I realize now. So it's not like I'm trying to compete with the man or get to that level. It's just that he just has a lot of joy in keeping me in this space as tadpole. So, okay, knock yourself out, man. He'll never watch this reaction. He hates technology, so you know he's just what is he? He's in his late 70s and he's never gonna change. He doesn't even have a cell phone. So anyway, I went way off there. Let me go back. Let me reel it back in. I'm really enjoying this album, and I'm really enjoying the process of going through each Led Zeppelin album, each song. It's really a fun ride, and you can literally almost kind of put yourself in a place when they were growing, their growth progression. And I'll share one of those crazy little fantasies that I have. I visualize quite often sitting down with these guys, you know, rock stars in general, and asking them specific questions. And I have different questions for different rock stars, that sort of thing, but I often have these visions about it. You know, if I'm daydreaming in the middle of the day, that's what I'm usually daydreaming about. And with Led Zeppelin, one of the biggest questions I would ask them, Steely Dan as well, is that at this point in your career, 6 albums in, you're probably very, very comfortable with your creativity. You know that you can literally wake up in the morning and just decide just like that how you're going to create, what genre, what you're going to mix, what you're going to do, knowing that at the end of it all, you're going to create something great. Am I right? And I'm going to shut the hell up and just listen to what they have to say, because that will be a 10 to 15 minute conversation, one-way conversation of them explaining themselves. That's the shit that I daydream about, man. Whenever I'm thinking about classic rock and thinking about these great legends and pioneers of the genre, that's what I visualize the most, is asking these questions. And I would construct these questions to the point where they can't give me a 2 or 3 sentence answer. They're going to have to expound, and they'll be getting into 10 to 15 minutes just to answer my questions. You know what I'm saying? That is what I would do if I ever had a chance to interview rock stars. That's how I would approach it, man. Because just getting right into the heads of them, they would be sharing stuff about their childhood, their blue-eyed Merles, their first love, that great love that Robert Plant had, that came to him early in his life, and he had not yet established himself. He had not yet accomplished his financial goals. And growing up at his age, I know that his father especially probably drilled into him, do not commit to a relationship until you have accomplished your financial goals, no matter if the right person comes along. So I bet, and I would ask questions like that and just listen to what he's got to tell me. Those answers would be just, it would be fantastic. I often say it's the juice of the fiber that feeds me. That would be the juice from that fiber. And that's an idea. That's an example of questions that I would ask these great legends, these rock stars, these guys who paved the way. They were pioneers. What they went through, the sacrifices they made to bring this music to us. I remember a story about them, the way they looked with their long hair and everything, being kicked out of a restaurant at gunpoint, stuff like that. So they would have a tremendous amount of information to share with us. And I would go about asking them questions that very, very few people would probably think to ask, I'm sure. It would probably have to be in a podcast or something where they have all the time that they need to just expound upon what they have to tell you. And that's the way to conduct an interview with legends like these, because they got so much to teach you. The reason I'm talking this way is because often with my work and all that stuff with vets, I would ask certain questions of vets, and they would tell me things, man. Sit down for an afternoon and talk to a few vets. Sit down and talk to a couple of seniors who have lived through wars and conflicts and revolutions and all of these things, and listen to some of the shit that they got to tell you. Man, incredible. And these gents here lived through a whole host of things. They were there to see the British invasion. They were there to see the coming together of the Yardbirds and the launching from that, and going through the 70s and Vietnam, and all of the festivals and all of these great things that shaped our social structure. So they have a tremendous amount of information to share, coming from a very unique point of view. So yeah, man, the questions I would ask these guys would just blow everyone's minds with the answer that we get. Anyway, enough of that. I'm reminiscing, I'm daydreaming vocally here with you. So let me get off of that. All right. So just scrolling down to my notes here, man. As I was saying, this is the second to last song on Physical Graffiti. So the next song is Sick Again, and I'll be finished with that. It'll probably come to you a little bit sooner. I'm expecting to be on my holiday break in a couple of days, and so I'm just going to jump right on my reactions that are just I'm so behind on. So the next Led Zeppelin song, Sick Again, will come sooner, I'm guessing. And then I'm going to get right onto the Presence album. I'm going to do my Steely Dan, and I believe the next album is Asia. And Idlewild South is the next album for the Allman Brothers Band. The Allman Brothers are the artist of the month for December, and I'm going to need a tremendous amount of time to cover a lot of their material. I probably won't get through it all, even though I have all of this time available coming up. But I'm going to get as deep into it as I possibly can. After Idlewild South is my mind is blanking. But the album following Idlewild South, I'm going to do individual song reactions. I'm gonna give them the Led Zeppelin treatment, and just get right into it like that, each individual song. And shout out to Akachita for putting that in my head. Thank you, man. I've got a couple of complimentary quads coming up that I've got to do that I'm behind on. Cyrus, Chuck Connor, the Townspeople, Akachita as well, and Rhymes with Teeth. So I'm going to get on those, and I'll definitely get many of these done within the next week or so for sure. Looking forward to that time off, man, let me tell you. So anyway, man, that was my reaction to this fantastic song, man. Great song. Lots of fun. Subject matter was great. Musicianship, of course, was on point. Robert Plant's voice, man. It's so unique, but so well crafted and fitted for the musicianship of Led Zeppelin. Just custom made. These guys had so much going on for them. It's unbelievable, the amount of talent they had and all of the resources and the skills that they had. Fantastic, man. So that is my reaction. Thanks for listening to me ramble. Thanks for listening to me share with you my crazy ass daydreams. And I'm looking forward to my time off, man. I'm gonna really be hitting the Allman Brothers material very hard. And it's going to be coming to you hard and fast, so you're warned, right? I'm not going to talk at all about COPPA and what I did with my YouTube channel. By now, you'll probably know and see that the content has been removed off of YouTube. So you know the reasons why, and I've also left up my address as my leaving YouTube. So I'm not going to bother even discussing COPPA here, but I will post an update and I'll keep you guys updated with how COPPA is affecting my channel as I go along, because what I'm doing is I'm speaking with a number of people and getting some more information and educating myself and learning more about it as I go. So that's basically all I'm going to say about that for now, until I actually address it in another message down the road. For now, man, I'm just going to take off and say thanks very much for joining me. Have a good one, and I'll catch you in my next Zeppelin reaction. Peace.